There are a number of media institutions I could choose to distribute my magazine. One main magazine institution is Bauer Media Group. Bauer are Europe's largest privately owned publishing group. They are a worldwide media empire who offer 300 magazines in 15 countries. They are also highly known online and for radio such as London's Kiss FM. Bauer's main music magazines are Q and Kerrang! The Q magazine started off as a monthly magazine in the United Kingdom. The magazine has now expanded to radio and television. Q's magazine offers genres such as indie, rock and alternative. The total viewers for Q's magazine is 377,000, which is a higher male reader at 68.3% and the female audience at 31.7%. Bauer's other music magazine, Kerrang! Is also a major hit in the music magazine market. Kerrang! Specialises mainly in the rock music genre. A Kerrang! TV channel also exists, including TV programmes which feature various music videos. The total viewers of the Kerrang! Magazine is 345,000. The magazine has a mixture of both genders, with the male audience at 54.7%, and the female audience at 45.3%. Another major magazine publisher, who are also the publishers of highly popular music magazine Billboard, is Prometheus Global Media. Prometheus Global Media is a New York-based media company. The company was created in 2009. The Nielsen Company announced that they would sell their business media division, which included brands such as Billboard and The Hollywood Reporter. The only music magazine they publish is the highly successful music magazine Billboard. Billboard is music's most powerful brand. Billboard's award-winning website illustrates the statistic that their content is consumed by millions of people in more than 100 countries. There are iconic weekly charts which are the most viewed and quoted in the world. This includes more than 200 iconic weekly charts. I believe the magazine institution Prometheus Global Media would ultimately be the best choice to distribute my magazine, as they have already succeeded with Billboard, which is a similar genre. It could be argued they would not want to publish another magazine of a similar genre, but I do not think this would be the case, as my publication would be British whereas Billboard is American. Therefore, if they publish both, they could profit both sides of the Atlantic. Completing my foundation portfolio has taught me that what Gauntlet said in 2007 regarding new media and new media technologies eroding the boundary between producer and audience is correct, as thanks to the internet, SurveyMonkey, Blogger, YouTube, social media, digital SLR cameras, Photoshop and InDesign, I've been able to construct my own media products and distribute them to a real audience. The first piece of new technology I've learnt about through this process is definitely Blogger. I had never set up a blog before, so I was very enthusiastic about learning the concepts of keeping a planning blog relevant and up to date. When I first started using Blogger, I instantly picked it up as it was similar to other online programs I've used before, such as social media. I liked the way I could create effective layouts and use tools quickly to add my text, images and videos before publishing my posts. What I found really useful about Blogger was I could update it anywhere, could access it anywhere, even during my photo shoots. I could even receive feedback from my teachers on it that helped me keep up to date with work and produce planning to a high standard. Another piece of technology I've learnt through completing the planning process is the website SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey allows you to create your own custom survey which can be distributed to your audience through social media. I found using SurveyMonkey extremely helpful and beneficial. I was able to get straight on to making my survey, which allowed me to instantly get various people from my social media to take the survey, allowing my work process to continue swiftly. What I particularly liked about SurveyMonkey was the way it turned the data into easy to analyse graphs. This again helped me work out quickly what my target audience wanted from my work. So overall, I was very happy with both of these programs, and I will definitely use both again when doing further pieces of coursework. When I got onto the product stages of my coursework, I had to learn how to use a professional SLR camera, the Canon 5D and the Canon 6D, and the studio light kits. I had to learn how lighting affects your image when taken. I wanted a specific lighting style in an image. You would have to adjust that to your chosen criteria to achieve the image you want. I also had to learn which lenses to use and how to adjust things like the focus and aperture. I think I learned the basics of studio photography, but would like more time to experiment and develop my skills further in this area. I believe the area I have developed my skills in the most are Photoshop and InDesign, as I had forced myself to go out of my comfort zone in terms of designing and post-production. I learned about how you can use tools such as the Magic Wand tools to easily crop out unwanted background from an image, then transferring my image into my chosen magazine page to put them in front of my chosen background design. This helped me massively because when I took my front cover photo into our photo shoot, the background of the white canvas which was there didn't fit the dark secondary colour palette my front cover was aiming for. Another tool I learnt to use in Photoshop was the gradient tool. This allowed me to choose two colours and then blend them together to create a professional effect on my backgrounds. I used this tool from all my pages. This was an initial idea I had thought about having throughout my magazine, and with the help of this tool I was able to accomplish this very easily. I also learned how to add filters, use a spot healing tool and adjust and alter things like brightness and contrast. In InDesign, I learned how to add text, move objects and complete my layouts. Another piece of technology which I've used to film this evaluation is the Canon 5D Mark III. I've used cameras previously in the past to record footage, but this allowed me to understand the different aspects this camera offered and how to use them to their full effectiveness. One of the main features of this camera is the high-speed continuous shooting. This allowed me to effectively keep up with the action at 6 frames per second. Also, the high-quality performance it offered in low-light situations, which made it easy to film this evaluation, whatever light conditions were present. Another piece of technology I used to make this evaluation was iMovie. I used this for editing. I've used iMovie in the past, but never for a professional piece of work. Overall, I found editing everything very simple. I was able to place my chosen images which linked with certain pieces of text in the right places without any hassle through using the blue screen shortcut. I believe the finished product looks very professional, given that this program is free to download, but if I choose to do film next year, I will obviously have to learn how to use more professional programs like Premiere Pro and After Effects. The last piece of technology I used, and also the last step of finishing this evaluation, was YouTube. Creating an account and posting this video on YouTube was very simple, and it allowed me to have my video up in a matter of minutes. Extremely efficient for this task and very simple, and another example of how simple it is for anyone to become a producer of a media text and reach an audience. Looking back at my prelim task, I can see how drastically I've improved all of my planning, production and post-production skills, as my final products and planning for my main task look so much more professional than my prelim work. I think making mistakes on my prelim work taught me how important it is to spend more time researching professional conventions and conducting primary research, as not doing these things has an obvious significant negative impact on end results. You can see from my main task audience and genre research and final products that I continuously refer to my research during production and post-production, as there is a direct relationship between them that was not present during my prelim task. You can also see that by the time I completed my main task, I had spent a lot more time developing my skills with the digital SLR cameras, studio lighting and editing programs, as my images look better planned, better lit and more technically accurate, and my editing looks a lot more creative and professional. You can also see from the quality of my main task images that I learned a lot more about choosing the right mise-en-scene, about how to get the most from my models in terms of getting them to pose properly to get the end results that are right for the product and audience. I am now much more confident that I could complete a print task in the future to a professional standard, as I have learned a range of relevant research, people, photography and editing skills. I have also learned I would like to do something like this again, as the whole process has been interesting, and I think there is still a lot I could continue to learn.